Well, obviously, you had to work pretty hard for it, didn't you, over the weekend?
Certainly did. I thought we were fairly disappointing for probably 3/4 of the match, apart from 10-15 minutes of footy. We probably played 10 minutes in the third quarter that got us back level, and then East again kicked away late in the third quarter, got out 3 goals, 20 points, and again probably 15 minutes in the last quarter, and we hit the front and managed to hang on. So yeah, East were fantastic, but yeah, I thought we were pretty ordinary.
Webby was pretty animated in the huddle. He made it pretty clear that it was a below par performance. So what do you as a team take out of that?
Oh, just that if we do play our best footy for most of the game, that it's definitely good enough. I mean, we're very lucky to play 15 minutes, like I said, and get away with a win. And so on the weekend, it was definitely do or die, and we were backs against the wall, and we can definitely take the confidence now that we can win it. So I suppose we probably went in that game with, I would have thought, probably half a dozen guys that had actually won a final before, and now we come out with 22 guys that have done it. So certainly going to come into this week and they'll be able to put their best foot forward. What's
your knowledge of injury concerns?
Yeah, got a couple. Link Barnes and Michael Neal will be out for the remainder of the final series, depending how far we go, obviously. So that's a couple of big losses, but certainly a couple of wins that we'll bring in and just replace, and they'll be able to do the same job.
And who's likely to come under consideration?
Tyler Blake will definitely come back in with North finishing up now. And then there's probably a couple of guys in the twos. Isaac Kirby's probably back in contention after training for a month now after his hand, and Dan Marnie's played a couple of games as well. He's been training the last couple of weeks, even though our two-side is out. So there's certainly a couple of guys that could come into those spots.
Coming up against a really high-quality side, and what's the approach going to be? What's Webby spoken about at training last night?
Yeah, well, it's probably more focused a couple of weeks ago when we did beat them, and it's just going to be our contested footy and pressure around the ball, and if we can open up and spread and just the usuals, we should be able to get the job done. But it's going to take a big effort and an effort across the whole game. We can't expect that 10 minutes of footy is going to win it against North City. So certainly it's just going to be right on our game from the opening bounce through to the final siren.
Do you reckon it was a bit of the factor that a lot of the guys, or most of them, hadn't actually won a final before? That was what sort of forced you to hiccup a bit on the weekend? Or?
Yeah, it did have a bit of that feel that a lot of guys were a bit nervous and probably just waited for something to happen from our end, just waited for something to click, and it unfortunately took to the last quarter for them to realise that, all right, we need to start playing footy to get over the line here. It's not just going to happen. So, and that's finals football. Everyone goes up a level. It doesn't matter if you finish 6th or 5th or 4th. Everyone's going to be up to that top level now. So yeah, I think like I said, took 3 quarters to do it, but they will take that into this week now, knowing what's required.
Yeah, is it just a bit of was it a bit of a feeling of relief that because you were so heavily favoured to win it? Was it just relief that you won it, or was it actually a real celebration? Or?
Yeah, a bit of both. Obviously relief once the siren went, and definitely celebration to be 20 points down at 3/4 time and come back. I think we actually doubled our score in the last quarter, kicked 6 goals 4. So, I mean, yeah, definitely celebration that we got over the line and held on, and East again come back at us that last 5 minutes and a couple of shots on goal. And I think Pringer's point in the last bit got us over the line, and then Brett Cook's mark on the half-forward flank, and yeah, hang on, and that's definitely celebrate any win in the final. It's fantastic.
Yeah, last time you played North, obviously got home by 2 points. Really low scoring, and until the last quarter on the weekend, it was really low scoring. Is that sort of what you're anticipating again, or because you probably don't have that massive key forward who can kick a bad 5, 6, 7 goals?
Nah, I'm sure it will be. It'll be very tight for most of the game, and it might just take for one side to crack, or if someone gets a break for 2 or 3 goals, that's it. Both sides definitely had their chances a couple of weeks ago. I think we picked 7-17, so again the scoreline could have been a hell of a lot different. And earlier in the year we got beat by 50 points, so North were able to pile on goals in that game. So yeah, it could go either way, but I would expect, and it's the same with any finals football, to be closely contested and fairly low scoring.
Yeah, having someone like Cliffo in the side, like his last quarter on the weekend, was probably the difference in the end. How important is it, and how much impact does he have, especially in finals when the game's there right in the balance?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's your captain, and his experience as a footballer, and just to be able to stand up in a time like that, and he really did drag the rest of the side through for that last quarter, and yeah, pretty much got us over the line, I would have thought, by himself. So again, that's the standard, and everyone realises that's what finals football is and how you need to play, and hopefully they take a leaf out of his book and carry it on this week.
Too easy. Robbie, disappointing week last week, obviously, but as I was talking in the weekend, same thing happened a couple of years ago, didn't it, where you got smashed in the first final, came back and ended up winning the flag, obviously, that year. So it's not all doom and gloom yet, anyway.
Oh, it was a disappointing loss, and we got actually hammered in the second half against Redan. It did happen a couple of years ago, but it's a matter of getting the blokes back mentally and getting right. Well, we got through the game okay, injury-wise. Getting the guys focused, we're working out straight away after the game on Saturday. Recoveries on Sunday, we had a quick team meeting. Hopefully we get the boys focused again and look at the job this week. Like, we've got to learn as much as we can from the loss, and then building into next week, because we certainly don't want to be carrying mental baggage into the game against Lakers this week. If we do, we'll be in a bit of strife.
How do you avoid getting rid of that mental baggage? What?
Just open and clear messages on Sunday straight away about where we're at. As a group, we went through it as individuals, and then as a team, things we can improve on straight away. Things that didn't work well for us that we can control, and we tick some boxes there within our discussions. Training as a result on last night was pretty good with that as well. We went through it again out in the ground as well. So I'm hopefully, in touch wood, we're out and about.
Physically, do you think you might need to be a bit tougher this week?
Well, the first half, we weren't too bad against Redan. They're the best team all year. We'll win it in patches. Second half of the first quarter, first half of the second quarter. We just couldn't score. I think it was 4 goals 2 to 1 goal 4. When they went forward, they scored easily. Gilly mentioned before about some of his forwards had days out. Our couple of blokes struggled, big time. And we thought we were in the game, just slow them down as much as we can. And I think Dan Colbert took one of his 3 hangers for the day, and they ended the 20-minute mark of the second quarter, and they got a buffer again and they're away, and we couldn't get near them after that. But the pressure's got to be there. We're going to increase this week, because she's all over if we lose, so the pressure will increase this week, and we have to. We played Wendouree, who rolled us 2 weeks ago at their home ground, and it just shows that with Lakers against Ballarat, you can't let them off the hook. Probably, maybe East Point did, and Lakers come well down and got them over the line. Against us 2 weeks ago, they kicked terrible, 7-17, as Scotty said. We headed them late in the quarter and hit the front with a couple of minutes to go, and they come back and got us again right at the end. So they hang around all day. So a bit of an hour, medal for 120 minutes.
A couple of fitness concerns. I think you said Derek's coming back this week, but
yeah,
I don't think Darby looked quite 100%.
No, Damo wasn't. He had a fitness test Saturday morning, but he put his hand up. He passed his fitness test, so he played. And he wasn't his best, but we'd lost Dezo too Friday night. So you're out in the ground. When you play out in the ground, you get the jumper on. You're 100% fit. You got to just play your role. And he was beaten, so we move on. He knows about that. Trained a little bit last night. He'll train full Thursday night, or he won't play.
Yep. So there is a bit of a question mark over him still? Or?
Oh, just if he gets through. So last night he did gym work, his cardio work. He was out doing our specials at training after that. He wasn't involved, but he did that. And if he gets through Thursday night, he'll play. But he's pulled up a lot better than he did the previous week. But he was really good. And Des, Thursday night training, they both pulled up like trucks on Friday. So we nearly lost both players on Friday. So I'm touch wood and it goes well this week.
So you give them, it looks like you might be giving them both to late Friday night, or?
Yeah, well, probably not now. We sort of went to Des, with Darmody to Saturday morning with his fitness test. If he's not right Thursday night, he won't play.
And that's
it's not fair to other blokes as well, and we're to make sure we're framed with our team and we're set for Lakers.
Yeah. And sorry, just to touch on Derek again. So you reckon?
Yeah, Des will be right.
He's right.
Yep, Des will be right. Yep.
No worries.
How much time do you put into a bloke like Cliffo, who clearly was a game turner on the weekend? Yeah,
he's just been fantastic, and his last quarter against us 2 weeks ago, he was he's flying, and he's a superstar, and he's their captain as well. And you watch his passion, kick the goal, and he's up and about, and the players all run to him. He's just their barometer at the moment. He's flying. So our blokes just have to play their eye on him and be cautious around him around the footy, because he's dominated the last quarters of the games, and both games they've won. He got them over the line in both games.
Does that mean running a few blokes with him throughout the course of
the
day?
Look, honestly, I think he's a bloke that can run with him in the comp. He's so strong and physical in the contest, and his speed getting away from the contest for a solid bloke is it's fantastic. We'll have some blokes that nominate to watch him when he leaves the contest, and some blokes to watch him when he's at the contest. As best we can, but he's flying.
You made mention of the fact that, obviously Derek didn't play, and then the other boys didn't really stand up and obviously produce a match-winning score. Is that essentially in your mind where things broke down last weekend, or was that just one of a number of things that went haywire.
Oh, just as one of the number of things, they all add up. I'm not going to blame the forward line or the midfield defence. It sort of hurt us across the board. We're not working well as a team. It hurts us. We talk about team defence and we struggle the ball in our forward line and it comes straight back out. So it's not necessarily the forward line blokes not laying defensive pressure on the forward lines, the midfield not getting back there to a support as well, half-back fingers haven't rolled up high enough, you know. A couple of times I got the ball out through the corridor and they're just running forward in waves, and, you know, Valley one out, Rito was one out down, they had their forwards all one out, and they just, you know, one-on-one, we're not going to beat their forward line if we don't have any support.
The Lakers have got some big followers,
yeah,
on ballers. That's going to take some combating.
Yeah, as we have as well. Like we spoke the week before, they average 102 points a game. We kept them to 59 points. So we just, when we realised we're off our game, to slow them down. But it was a two-point game again, you know what I mean? And although they kicked 7-17, we didn't kick very well either, or play that to our best. And as long as we get back to a level at our best, we're somewhere near it. We're hoping it'll keep us in the game long enough to try and get some victory against them.
And Lucas Anderson, does he become a bit of a focal point in terms of your combating him once again? Because on his day, he can be a match winner.
Yeah, on his days, actually, I thought he finished off very well against East Point. Week in the last quarter, he was up and about. He just runs all day. You know, he starts at full forward, he gets down through the wings and doubles back when he's into a strike himself. But he's a good player. He's one of many of them. I watched Big Bowen go forward the weekend, and Talmanelli going to ruck and have a real impact around the ball as well. So they've got Robinson may come back in this week, and they've got some big tall blokes up there. But it's a role we have to beat them with team defence, not just, you know, some individual defenders down the back.
Great. Thank you very much, Rob.
Cheers.
Too easy. Thanks, boys.